Welcome to the Culture Edit. Unique perspectives into the personal and professional lives of individuals at the helm of successful business, athletics, art, and design. Welcome to the Culture Edit, episode 17. We are coming at you live from our house. I am currently sitting on the couch.
We're not actually live, though. You realize that?
Oh, yeah.
Like, if it was live, that'd be like radio.
Okay, let me start over.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And apologize because tomorrow will be Tuesday.
I mean, there's a possibility I could still get it out tonight.
Wow. But I think we were going to try and pretend like we are doing this because of the holiday, because it's Columbus Day.
That good old bank holiday.
A good old bank holiday. So when a holiday falls on a Monday, normally we would release on Tuesday instead of our normal.
You say normally, but I don't think this has happened yet.
The reality is we were in New York over the weekend. And
celebrating your birthday month.
Celebrating my birthday. Well, we had to go to Norwalk, Connecticut for work last week.
Yeah. On Wednesday through Friday.
Yeah. And so then we had meetings in New York on Friday.
Yep.
So we're like, let's just go ahead and stay through the weekend. I lugged the equipment.
All the way up.
All the way to New York.
We checked bags because of the equipment.
Yep. And
normally we wouldn't do that.
We never recorded. Now we're back. I just took all our equipment for a little ride.
Well, we were being ambitious, but I think it's okay to not record every Sunday if birthday celebrations are in order, because we ended up, we were supposed to record on Sunday, but then it worked out to where we could meet up with friends on Sunday.
Yeah.
And so that became the priority, to be completely honest.
Megan and Numi, you're the priority.
Yeah, shout out.
Cafe,
they
Mogador.
hopped on the subway, came over from Brooklyn. I mean, that's not easy. That's not an easy trip.
Yeah, no, it's big effort.
Braving the subway nowadays is, they basically risk their lives for us.
We were talking about this, though, with them. Like, every single time we've gone to New York, they make an effort. Yeah, not many people do that.
Yeah.
But they always make an effort.
Yeah.
Good friends.
Yeah, great friends.
Yeah, so I think I know you want to talk about New York, but before we do that, feedback from last week. Mm-hmm. Again, Linda's episode, so much incredible positive feedback about her and the interview and how in the world does she get everything done.
Inspiration, motivation,
I'm inspired, but I feel like a loser because I don't get enough done. Maybe that was just me. But yeah, it was incredible. And we knew it would be. We knew that she was going to be incredibly authentic. And I think we knew, because we know her story, we knew that they'd be inspired by it. So, Linda, I know you're listening. A lot of people were totally inspired by hearing your story, and thank you so much for sharing that. And thanks for all the feedback. Although we still haven't heard from our Melbourne listeners, which I'm really getting annoyed by.
Who are you?
Yeah. Who are you, Melbourne?
Do you want to give a 150th injury update?
Week 5 is complete. Obviously, I'm traveling. I would say my collarbone is 80 to 90%, would you say? But my elbow is a problem. I still can't bend my elbow, so that's what's keeping me.
Straighten your elbow.
Straighten. I can bend it's stuck in a bent position, basically. Thanks for everyone continuing to ask.
Speaking of injuries and cycling, do we want to talk about the Bearings Bike Works barbecue that we went to? Because that was really fun.
Yeah, I guess because last week we recorded before we went.
Yeah.
And that was a great event. It was their annual fundraising event.
Barbecue. We didn't really know how big it was going to be. No. Like, it was actually like a live auction, a silent auction. There was tons of people there. It was in a great venue. It was decorated really nice. The food was amazing. It was barbecue, but it was really good barbecue.
Lots of friends there. Becky and Tim, thanks for not only inviting us, but thanks for putting on a first-class event. I think that was incredibly successful. I forgot how much they said they raised that night. It was like $140,000, I think. So incredibly successful night for them. I would say probably every bike rider in Atlanta, it's their favorite charity. They do amazing work. We could probably spend a whole episode. We've talked about.
Well, we'll put a link to their website in the show notes. That way you can go and check out Bearings and all the great work they're doing with kids in the community. But it's all about getting more kids, not only on bikes, but giving kids a way to earn bikes through working. And so they work in the bike shop, or they work in they have different programs that the kids can spend time either working or volunteering, or they have summer programs, and now they actually have a mountain bike team. But it's a really great organization.
So we were there with several friends, including friend of the pod, John Trainer, episode 8, who I got to sit by, and then Chip.
Episode 9.
Oh, sorry. Episode 9 was with John Trainer. And then Chip from Wahoo was also there along with Scott DeMeyer. And there was I'm sure you want to mention the primary thing they were doing was an auction, right? So they're auctioning off items that had been donated to Bearings. One of which was a Wahoo kicker bike.
The live auction got spicy. It got spicy at our table.
Yeah.
It was a bidding war at our table, but who the bidding war was between is probably one of the funniest things I've ever watched at a live auction.
So are you going to elaborate?
I'm just giving like a dramatic pause.
Oh, okay.
So the bidding war happened between Chip, the founder of Wahoo,
Yeah.
and Chad.
And me. Yeah.
So they were bidding back and forth for like
For a
kind of an uncomfortable amount of time of like, okay, how long they gonna do this for? Like they both can literally just go buy this thing tomorrow.
For a Wahoo kicker bike. That was
For
the
a-
irony. So
yeah.
the item was a Wahoo kicker bike,
Yeah.
and me and Chip were the only ones bidding. Well, I guess other
No,
people,
not the only ones,
other
but-
people had bid on it, but then they gave up.
When it got to the upper limit of people's comfortability of bidding, the two of you were just half willing each other into bidding oblivion.
Yeah, you didn't even know I was going to bid on it. I think you were kind of surprised by the whole thing.
I
You're
was
like, what
getting
is going on
I was
here?
more and more anxious. I was like, how high is this? Like, he's all right. We're now losing money on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's for a good cause. But you did lose.
I gave up.
You gave up.
I
You
could
lost.
I could see it in Chip's eyes. He was not going to lose. He was going to win the kicker bike.
That he has access to
Yes.
at all times.
So it's like
But it's for a good cause.
one of those things, like when you see a worthy opponent and you see it in their eyes that they just got a little bit more fire back there than you're willing to put out, then you give them, you let them have it. I let them have it. So
Yeah. So
Chip, I hope you're enjoying your kicker bike.
Chip walked away with his own product.
It's pretty
And
funny.
maybe one day we'll get a kicker bike, but not today.
We're getting a move.
Well,
A new
yeah,
kicker
Michael's
move.
currently on the way over
It's on
with
the
the
way.
move, so he might interrupt this broadcast to bring you
Yeah.
Michael Garrison in the move.
So hopefully we'll have a full review on the move by next episode. Is my goal.
Well, do we want to talk about our trip to New York, because I think that was pretty much the highlight of the week.
Yeah, for sure.
So we get into Norwalk, Connecticut, which I've never been to Connecticut. Period.
Check that box.
Check that box. Went to Norwalk. Went to our clients' offices. Lovely offices in Norwalk.
Beautiful.
We flew in Wednesday night. The meetings were on Thursday.
So many nice people.
So many nice people.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely people. The
Genuinely care.
Connecticutans?
I think so.
Is that, yeah?
Yeah. Didn't make fun of our accents. They were really, really
No,
nice.
everyone was lovely.
Yeah.
And so enjoyed that. Had a great day of focus groups, chatting, and then took the train from Connecticut to South Norwalk train into Grand Central, which
Like a true commuter.
yeah, so like that was kind of cool. Although there was definitely points where I was like, doing this every day would be very depressing.
Yeah.
But it was good. We got there in about an hour and a half. Arrived at Grand Central. It was completely overwhelming. But I don't think I've been in maybe when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
We went in Grand Central, but not in my adult time. So that was pretty cool.
So I had to take you into the main.
Yeah, that we went in the middle. Like that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Where all the
lug-
movies are shot.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were lugging our bags around, so that was a little damper. And
Mine was
some
real heavy
activities.
because it was full of recording equipment.
Yeah. But made it to our hotel. We're staying basically between like West Village and Soho kind of area. It was a great spot. So first stop, I took Chad to Shuka, which is right next to the hotel we were staying in. And actually Joanna and I went last time, had a great time, loved it so much. So I was like, you know what? Taking Chad back here. Another great meal.
It's the Del Bar of Manhattan. So we go to Del Bar every week.
Let's not get it's not as good as Del Bar, but
It was good.
It's good, but-
The vibe's not as good as Del Bar. But I just love the restaurant we go to every single week here. It's the first thing we do in New York is go to a restaurant that's just exactly like it.
yeah, I mean, it's Persian food, just classic. It's really good. Yeah, and we had, the same server that we had last time, which was kind of strange. So that was really fun. Then I had stumbled across a place that I saw, I think on TikTok or I don't know, and called Arthur's Tavern. That was like,
Highlight of the trip.
yeah, that actually ended up being the highlight of the trip, and it was the only thing I didn't have a reservation for, like actually plan for. And so it's this old tavern. It's been there for, I don't know, a really long time. And we walk up and it's packed. And I'm like, oh man, we're not going to get like a spot.
But it's a jazz show.
It's a jazz bar.
So it's not like tavern, like.
What is a tavern?
I mean,
with jazz?
Yeah, it's a jazz.
It's a jazz tavern.
Yeah, jazz tavern.
So Arthur's Tavern, the Jazz Tavern. But we walk up and we walked right in and we are like, hey, we don't have a reservation, but you know, we'd love to sit down and listen to some music. The bartender was so nice. He's like, of course, like come sit right over here. And
a reserved table.
Yeah, at a reserved table, sat us right down. The only table left in the entire place. It was pretty awesome. And then we ended up staying there for like 3 hours. We saw 2 or 3 different bands.
Yeah.
It was rowdy. It was fun. The drinks were good.
Great service.
Great service.
You mentored a young, impressionable musician.
Yeah, met a nice young lady. She was going to be a backup singer at the Bowery Ballroom the following night with a band. And, you know, after a few drinks, you're like bestowing my drunk wisdom upon her.
Yeah.
Which was basically just like, don't let men ruin your life and you'll be fine.
Nikki's normal advice. Follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams and don't let men ruin your life. Yeah. That was my advice. No, I think it was a little more, probably better than that. But yeah, it was good.
Maybe.
It was fun. So that was a really fun start out to the night. Yeah, so Friday.
After meetings.
Yeah, Friday in between meetings, we went to Balthazar, which is actually like kind of a staple for us. We really like it.
Keith McNally restaurant.
Yeah, it's a French brasserie. So you walk in. We were thinking, oh, Friday. It was a late lunch. It was like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
We're thinking, oh, we're just going to walk right in.
Nope.
Packed.
Yep.
You would have thought this was the only place in Manhattan on a Friday at 2.
Yeah.
It was insane. But, you know, that's what we go there for. We go there for the vibes and we go there for the food. And it was amazing, as usual.
2 o'clock on a Friday, packed, and everyone's eating a hamburger and drinking a martini.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So then
we didn't have a martini, just pointing that out. Everyone else was.
Oh yeah. So get some work done the rest of the day. After that, I decided to take Chad to my other favorite spot that we've talked about before, and that's Scent Bar, because I wanted to help him pick out a cologne for himself.
So many people are going to be excited about this that I went to Scent Bar. Was
it everything you dreamed of? Give me.
It was overwhelming.
Which I warned. I said it's overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really smell that well or see that well, so my senses are kind of dulled. So you walk in and it's just like so many scents. I guess that's what it's called, Scent Bar.
And things you've never seen before.
Never.
Like you don't see anything you recognize.
I didn't realize it was going to be all these weird brands. Like I thought, I don't know.
What niche.
Yeah, I thought it was more like the other places you've taken me where you make your own. Like they have all the different scents, top notes and high notes and low notes and all that stuff. And then like you kind of tell them what you want and then they'll make you something. I didn't realize it was brands, but it was like they were categorized like leather and
oud and gourmand.
Oud. I didn't know oud.
Floral.
Oud is O-U-D.
Yeah.
It's a tree.
Yeah.
See, I learned that.
And it's very difficult to source.
Yeah. So you just told him kind of what you liked, and he pulled $500 bottle of perfume down.
He did
said,
go straight to the $500 bottle, which I was like, all right.
And you called him out, and you're like, of course, you just pulled the most expensive thing out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a straight shooter. Radio. So I was like, as much as I would, love it, mainly because I had just gotten done saying that you can't really smell anything, and this perfume is basically for me so that I like it when I smell you.
Yeah.
And then to like right off the bat pull the $500 bottle out, I was like, okay, bro.
Yeah.
Let's start over.
So what did you get me? What was it called again?
So we ended up getting, I can't even say this.
Like you can't pronounce it?
Well, I'm going to butcher this as my usual French pronunciation is not great, but something along the lines of les indomptables.
Okay.
Indomptables.
Eloquent.
Indomptables.
There you
go. Anyways.
What is the smell? What was the base smell again?
Well, it's Amber Supreme. So very ambery, oud, woody, I believe there's notes of saffron, vanilla. It's actually a brand from the French Alps. And it says that it's a collection of original, unconventional fragrances committed to fulfilling the desires of lovers of rare perfumes.
Wow.
Made in the Alps.
I will say, because the next day I wore it, but I did like a normal, like 2 sprays.
Yeah. No, it's strong.
And it was like way too strong.
It's a one spritzer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, really strong. And I noticed it lasts a really long time.
Yeah, I mean it's a perfume. Like it's a perfume which is
Not a cologne. What's the difference?
a perfume is much stronger than a cologne.
Makes sense.
That's the difference. But then there's like a Eau de Toilette, which is like even lighter. So
Okay.
that's the one I got. It's more of like just a lighter kind of body spray versus a perfume, which is much more.
Yeah. So for
Potent.
our listeners out there, if you picked up on that, Nikki's one of these. I'm getting you I'm getting you a present about getting me one too. One for you, one for me.
Yeah, like one for you, one for me.
You didn't mention that part when we were walking in.
I mean, that's just the way life works.
Oh, okay.
One for you, one for me. But I've never heard of this brand, so when he pulled it out, it was something new for me. And then I got actually a perfume from London, so not a French perfume, but Penhaligon's. Penhaligon's?
Okay.
It's their perfume Luna. I've actually been testing it for a few months. I ordered testers of a few different of their perfumes. And the Luna one, I really like. It's very light and floral. I like it.
Cool. So now when everyone knows why I smell so good, now they'll know.
Exactly.
Yep.
But just one little spritz. You don't
One-
need to be walking
just
around like
one.
you're
Cipollini.
yeah, Chibley. I imagine he walks around with like 20 sprays of
Definitely.
cologne,
Yeah.
perfume.
Yeah, definitely. So after the perfume shopping for Chad
Yeah, so after
and
perfume
Nikki,
shopping, we were supposed to go to Dirty French, but we walked over earlier to the Ludlow and had a drink at their bar. And
Which
then
is
it
the
was kind of
Dirty-
one of those what?
which is the Dirty French bar.
Yeah, which is the Dirty French bar and great drinks. They're actually setting up for a wedding,
Yeah.
which was cute. I saw the bride; she looked beautiful. But by the time we would get back to the hotel and then back over, it was just a lot of like Uber walking time.
And we've eaten there a lot. This is a client we should mention. So,
Yeah, and they're
yeah.
a client of ours. We've eaten there quite a bit. So
lot.
we ended up staying closer to the hotel and going to a place which has been on our list for a while, but we haven't ever been because we haven't gotten reservations. It's called Dante's, and we actually walked right up and they had 2 seats left. We've been getting really, really lucky on this trip.
Really lucky. Yeah. Because it's a very popular place.
Yeah, but it was like Italian. We both got pasta.
You got food envy.
I had
for the
food
first
envy
time.
for the first time.
Yeah.
Normally, I draw the good straw of the food. Like I always get the best thing, no matter what.
Yeah,
And Chad's always envious of my food. But this time he won.
I did.
He got the fruit of the sea.
Fruit of the sea with, I don't remember what the noodle was, but it was awesome.
I think it was just spaghetti.
Maybe. Yeah. It
But it looked amazing. Or maybe it was linguine. Anyways,
was a red sauce.
it looked amazing.
Yeah.
Light red sauce. All of the shrimps and shellfish and accoutrements you could ask for.
Yeah.
I got the pesto. Well, it was described as like a pasta limone, and I really like the lemon pasta type dish. But it was actually more of a pesto-y dish, and I'm not like I like pesto, but it's not my favorite thing. So while mine was amazing, if you're a pesto lover, it's to die for. If you're not obsessed with pesto, I wouldn't say that it's your dish.
Yeah.
But overall was a phenomenal experience. Would definitely go back there.
And that was an early night.
Yeah, that
we knew
one
we had a
I
big
made
day
us
the
go to
next
bed
day.
early
Yeah.
because
Well, you wanted to get your run in the next morning.
Yes, because I had woken up actually before our client meeting at 5 a.m. and I went down to the hotel gym and they had like one rickety treadmill that worked but barely. And I did my run workout Thursday morning, which was like a sprints and intervals and stuff. And so I knew I had to get at least one run, kind of like tempo run in while we were there. So woke up early Saturday morning, went down to the Hudson River Park, like that greenway,
Yeah.
and went running along there.
You were inspired by your new Bandit clothing.
I had my new Bandit running clothes on,
Your new
so I was
favorite
like,
running brand.
I felt like I was a local
Yeah.
because they're based out of Brooklyn.
Straight out Brooklyn.
Then we went to we were supposed to go to the Museum of Natural History. I had bought tickets for it.
We know we did go to it.
We tried, but when we got there, it was raining.
with-
So not only did I get up and run early in the morning, but I actually ran in the rain the entire time.
Yeah.
So
We went to the Museum of Natural History with 50,000 German tourists.
it was insane.
Yeah.
We got on the subway thinking like, oh, we'll just hop on the subway. We'll get there. I got the 10 a.m. spot so that we'd be like the first in line.
Yeah, it was all planned. Like you have the ticket for the time.
Exactly. I'm like 10 a.m. right when they open. We'll be there. That way, no risk. We get on the subway. Really, no one on the subway until we
Not
get
when
to
we started.
until we get to Midtown.
Yeah.
And then it was like the entire country of Germany had just dumped all of their patrons into the subway in Midtown, and everyone was wearing Adidas,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You pointed that out.
and they were all going to see the dinosaurs.
Yep. Every single person had Adidas shoes on.
We get off the train. I'm like, oh, please tell me all these people aren't going to the Natural History Museum, because at this point we're like the sardines packed at the bottom of the can.
Yeah.
Because we got on first, and the Germans are like leaning up against our bodies, crushing us.
No spatial awareness.
Not a lot of, but no one really had a choice. It was, I mean, the subway was packed. So of course we're the last ones to get off because we're the first ones on, and everyone goes straight to the line to Natural History.
Well, the line was already 3 blocks deep.
It was insane. I've never seen anything like it.
We were like so shocked by it. So the line was like around the Natural History Museum, down a block, and down another block.
Yeah, it was crazy.
There was just gaps for the road,
Well,
but you were still standing in line.
Yeah, and we were confused. Like, is this to get a ticket, or is this like what's happening? Because I bought these tickets like 2 weeks before, and they're like, no, this is just a security line.
So everyone that knows us knows we don't wait in line, so we didn't go.
Yeah, we didn't go. It was kind of sad, but I just was like, it was raining, so we were going to have to stand there. We didn't have umbrellas. We were going to have to stand in the rain down 3 blocks.
Yeah.
To get into this museum. It just wasn't happening.
So we went and got bagels and schmear and bought umbrellas.
Yeah, so we went and got a bagel instead.
Yeah.
Because
But we saved the day.
We did.
By walking through the park.
Yep.
To the Met. Neither one of us had ever been to the Met.
Yeah, and I think it ended up
Metropolitan Museum of Modern Art.
It was amazing. And we got so the luck flipped in our favor. We walked up and we're like, okay, we don't even have tickets yet, but we're just gonna get through security and figure it out once we get in there. As soon as we walk up, there's one line to the right and one line to the left, and they're siphoning everyone into the security. And to the right, which is more visible. Mm-hmm. From most people are coming from that way. It's visible to the park. The line's 3 blocks long, and I'm like,
just
oh,
like the
my gosh,
other museum.
Yeah, I was just like, what the heck? Like, what is happening? And then we look to the left, and as soon as we look to the left, they open up a new security line.
Yep, we were just standing there.
And we were just standing there.
We just walked right in.
We just walked right in, and it was amazing. And then we got tickets as we were inside, right on the phone, scanned them.
And we were both blown away.
It was one of my favorite museums I've ever been to.
I mean, we hardly touched it in terms of like being able to experience it all. But they had a really cool thing on their website where they give you different tour options. So we were trying to follow those as best as we could.
We chose like the hour-long tour of, it basically gives you directions. We were probably there for 2 hours, I would say, because we kind of went off path.
I think we're almost 3 because we would do our own thing. Yeah. We would follow the tour, but then we're doing our own thing. But I mean, it's like Monet, it's Picasso,
Van Gogh, Picasso. I mean, everything.
Everything. Like
Rodin.
Yeah.
Like it was like, I mean, it was kind of like a mini Louvre, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
but it wasn't that many.
There's more hits, I would say, in a shorter amount of time than you would get at the Louvre.
For sure.
Like
because you see
like
a lot
hit
of
after hit.
You see a lot of stuff in the Louvre that you have no idea. Like, unless you're an art history, like true art history buff, you're really not going to know like who this person is, what they've done, what their life story is, why they created this like statue or painting. But when you go to the Met, you know enough. The average person that went through grade school is like, I got it.
You've seen them all.
Seen the lily
pads.
You've
seen pictures of them. Exactly. Yeah, lily pads and the Van Gogh self-portrait and like the Drake of museums.
Yeah, but
just hit after hit.
I was wondering where you were going with the Drake. Because my mind went to the Seinfeld episode where they talk about the Drake.
Oh.
Yeah, but anyway, she didn't go there.
No, the Drake.
But what I like to do is going through museums is I like to look at who has donated or brought this piece of artwork to the museum.
Yeah, that's all you talked about.
Because it's fascinating. It says every single family, fund or society that has donated this piece of art or is gifted or lend this piece of art to the museum. And all it makes you realize is like how there's just very few amounts of ridiculously rich people that have just literally collected and amassed an insane amount of art over time because it's the same families. Mm-hmm. Like 25% of the museum is like the Lauder family. And then you go and you see all these other rich families, which when you see the names, like like the Heinz family, you start recognizing
Rockefellers. And
Rockefeller, obviously.
Yeah.
And so you see, it's like, wow, these people stole a lot of artwork from Africa a long time ago.
Especially when we were looking at the Egyptian stuff.
Yeah, like the Egyptian.
It's like 400 years old and it's from Egypt and it's sitting in New York.
Yeah, it's like the Louder family donated this sarcophagus. It's just like, how did in the 1920s? How did they even like? Anyways, if you go to a museum, I highly recommend kind of like paying attention to who has donated the artwork to the museum because it's kind of just interesting.
Yeah,
and then
it's
look
really
them
cool.
up, and you'll be like, what?
The painting of Washington crossing the Potomac is like probably
Delaware, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, the Delaware is the highlight for me because I just didn't realize how big that painting
It
was.
takes up the entire room, wall to wall, floor to ceiling.
Yeah, and the story was the artist. I'm blanking on the artist's name right now, but he painted it and then his studio burnt down. So he had to repaint the entire thing again the next year. So I would definitely recommend going to the I would recommend going to the Met over any museum in New York right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, and even again, we spent so much time in Paris, and we have hit a lot of museums in Paris. And again, bang for your buck and time. I think the Met it gets you a lot more information quickly,
For sure.
I should say.
So that night we went to Pastis, also a Keith McNally restaurant, really, really good.
No, but we went to Via
Steak
Quadronno
fries.
first.
Oh, that's right.
You're
After.
forgetting our
Okay.
favorite place.
Okay, sorry. Well,
Out
let's
of
back
all
up.
the places.
So after the Met,
So after the Met, we were like, oh, again, it was very rainy, so we were kind of just trying to hop around so to stay out of the rain.
it was torrential.
We're staying on we were at this point on the Upper East Side. And so we said, let's go try and grab a glass of wine somewhere. And I had saved this place for years on my Google Maps, and I have no idea why, when, or where I added this to the list because we have nowhere else on the Upper East Side, just this one place that I added.
Yeah.
No idea why. We walk up and there's a woman like ushering people into this restaurant like it's her kitchen, and she's, the mom cooking all the food for everyone. And it was just so warm and welcoming. So she ushers us into this packed room, definitely not up to fire and safety code. There's absolutely no way.
No. Everyone was local.
What they did during COVID, I have no idea because you would have kept COVID in like 30 seconds being in that place. But warm, welcoming, friendly. The
Dogs
servers,
on the floor.
There's dogs in the restaurant. I mean, there was a lot of codes being broken for sure, but
Yeah.
and
it's like the flying
maybe
bull or
I'm just gonna
something.
call her Mama Quadronno. Mama Quadronno.
Yeah.
She was running this place. Like I've never seen someone so efficient, running the staff, running the kitchen, all checking on everyone. I mean, she probably checked on us 200 times.
Yep.
Along with the other 200 people packed into this shoebox. And it was really good. So we had ordered a drink, but we weren't even planning on eating there.
No.
But the food kept coming by, and it looked so like homey and good and warm, and it was cold
Soup.
out. Got to get the soup.
Yep.
So we both got the soup. Best soup. Some of the best soup I've ever had.
Without a doubt. I don't drink a lot of soup.
I
eat soup? Do you
I
drink
eat
soup?
a lot of soup.
So you eat soup, you don't drink it.
Well, it depends what the soup's made out of.
Oh.
Ours had like beans and vegetables in it, so technically you are eating part of the soup
Okay.
while sipping the other parts. But yeah, amazing. It
Yeah.
was so amazing. I love it. Go back there too.
Yeah, it was a special place.
It was a really special place. The servers, I mean, they were just moving like lightning. It was crazy.
I guess I should mention we have people ask us for recommendations a lot, so we have prepared lists that
Should
Nikki
we
can
put
just.
the link to our list?
Yeah,
in the show
maybe we
notes?
should. We could just put the link to our list in the show notes.
And then to round out that day, we ended up at Pastis, which we've had on our list for a long time too.
Yeah,
French brasserie as well.
another Keith McNally restaurant,
So good.
meatpacking district.
I ordered the chicken paillard.
Yeah,
Like
it
the
was
thin
awesome.
pounded chicken.
Yeah,
But it had this amazing,
olive.
it was
tapenade?
like an olive tapenade. It was amazing.
It was so tasty
with a salad.
Yeah.
And French fries. We got French fries.
Yep.
And then you got the filet.
I got the filet, but most importantly, we got a prime table.
We did. We got a really good table.
Yeah,
They hooked us up.
outside, right there in the meatpacking district.
And we
Yeah.
made a friend.
And we made a friend because he was a cyclist. He had his Chinelli cap on,
Yeah.
and he's a server there.
Yeah, one
or
of the
manager.
servers.
I think he's a manager.
He was walking around with the Chanel cap. We stopped him. We said, hey, are you a cyclist? Long story short, we became friends, talked about Scotland, spent a lot of time riding in Scotland. And at the end of the night, he brought us a free dessert, his favorite, an off-menu dessert.
Yeah, off
that
menu.
he had made for us.
Yeah, that's pretty special.
I mean, the power of cycling.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Super cool. So we really hit the jackpot, I feel like, with this trip on food.
Yeah.
Because typically we'll have a few duds sprinkled in there.
No, this was all winners.
Yeah.
And then we went to Café Mogador Sunday to meet Umi, and we've already talked about that, but meeting Umi and Megan.
Yeah.
But that's a restaurant that we've been to. Their other location in Brooklyn, Now we've been to their Manhattan location, which is the original. It's Moroccan and it's awesome.
So good. Yeah.
Daniel, the owner, he was really cool.
Yeah. The owner hooked us up because we didn't have reservations, and Umi pulled his New York local strings, which span very far and wide in Manhattan and Brooklyn.
He knows
I'm always
everybody.
impressed by it, to be
Yeah.
honest. But yeah, I mean, I guess you're up there your whole life, you know everyone. So thank you for getting us in without a reservation because it was actually packed. The food was phenomenal.
Yeah, and then I think to round out this episode, we've talked about Delta now 3 episodes in a row. We might as well just finish the story with Delta. Very critical of them and their new policies, and so they lost my bag. Wasn't that a coincidence?
They lost your bag. But they didn't technically lose it. They searched, so we had all of our podcast equipment in your bag.
Yeah.
And I guess we checked the bags because it was really heavy. So when we checked the bag, I guess they sent it through a scanner, as they would do, I would assume, and saw the podcast equipment and decided they had to rummage through all of your bag.
We didn't know this until well after the fact, but
we didn't know this until this morning
TSA
when you
note
opened
in
your
it.
suitcase
Yeah.
and there was a note in there saying we rummaged through your bag.
So we spent an extra 3 hours at the airport last night waiting on the bag. They finally gave up. Very nice. I will say very nice. And you said I was handling the lost bag very well.
I was panicking.
And so we left, and then I got a notification once we got all the way back to the car that it was here. So I guess it was on the next flight. So we went back
to the...
and I didn't even tell you. It was just by itself going around on the track by itself. Just
so sad.
All by itself. Yeah. So we got the bag, but
Delta
got
I
us
was
back.
panicking because the microphones were in there, which matter because they're nice, but that's not as big of a deal. But it was more the device that we use to actually record. We don't have multiple of those, and so that was in there. And if we lost that, we wouldn't have even been able to record today because we'd have to order a new one. But we found it, and also a jacket that I bought for you for your birthday a couple years ago, or Christmas, I don't remember.
Last year, yeah.
That was like one of a kind, and it took me a really long time to source it.
Yeah.
Was also in there.
Yeah.
And so I was very upset about that.
Yeah. But we got it back.
It's all good.
They just wanted us to know that they were listening.
It was. It felt like they were like,
you've been touched. So
yeah, it was a little poke in the back. Just, I'm here still.
Exactly. So
Papa Ed's watching.
Sorry about that.
But what was even weirder is when we were walking back in, the vice president of customer experience walked past us and
she
looked
looked right at me. Did you notice that?
I'm
She
like,
literally.
Are we paranoid?
Oh no, she literally looked right at me.
I think we're getting paranoid now.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But we had a great experience at the
Newark Sky Club.
Newark Sky Club.
Which I had spent a lot of time in weeks prior.
Yeah, you're local.
I lived in there.
Very nice people working there.
And I was like, it was the one thing that made the trip bearable was how nice the Sky Club was in Newark. Not just like the facility is nice. And the food is they actually have really good food there. But the staff is so nice.
They care.
They go around, they don't wait for you to go to the bar to get a drink. They go around, ask you oh, I noticed your wine is low or your Coca-Cola is low. Do you want more? The guy cleaning is you're barely even finished with your plate. And he's like, well, can I take that for you? Because it was football Sunday. They had the manager walking around with a couple other people passing out game day hors d'oeuvres.
Never in my life have I seen that.
Past hors d'oeuvres,
Yeah.
it was a wedding.
Yeah.
It was great.
But we saw why. It's because the manager was great. It's just like anything in corporate culture. It's a direct reflection of the most influential leader that people work for.
The manager cared.
And he cared a lot.
And you know what made me sad about that is so after you get off the phone with Delta, if any of you have listened, they do the whole, can you stay on the line and answer one question survey? And the question is, if you owned a business, would you hire this person?
Love it.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, that is.
And I was in that moment, I was like, man, I wish I could fill out the survey for the people here in the Sky Club.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't hire a lot of people at Delta, but I would hire these people.
Sometimes we get emails of what was your Sky Club experience like?
Oh.
So
Okay. All right.
I'll let you know if we get that.
Okay.
But yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All that was before they lost my bag, for the record.
Yes. We went a little bit out of order chronologically. But all in all, it was a really great New York trip. Had a lot of fun. Got a lot done, except for the recording of the podcast.
Yeah.
And
Really
now we're
great
back,
trip.
and we've been in meetings since 8 a.m.
Yeah. Columbus Day is no holiday for us, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the episode for now. And, we do have more trips to New York planned because of this great client that we have up there. And
Going back in December.
Yeah, we'll be back in December. We'll be back in October, the end of this month for the 27th.
Oh, are we going in person?
Yeah. So, yeah, more to come. Maybe you can hook up with your Bandit friends.
I hope so. A lot of people are at the Chicago Marathon this week, which I don't know if anyone I don't want to act like I follow marathons at all because this is like a new thing. But I did see that the men's marathon world record was broken.
Yeah.
This weekend. So that's pretty exciting.
It was not our friend Kachobi.
No.
30 seconds off of breaking 2 in a competition.
Correct.
Whereas Kachobi broke 2 outside of a competition.
In Vienna, outside of competition.
Yeah. So our friend Brett, no doubt, had something to do with this.
I'm sure he's a Nike athlete. Yeah.
I need to check with Brett and see. But yeah, that was pretty cool to see. And yeah, more
really
to come.
Cool. And there was I think it was 90 from Brooklyn, but 50 people who traveled from Atlanta with the Atlanta Run Club to go race. So I'm getting I'm new into the Run Club thing, but it's pretty exciting. I think.
I saw Haley Braun went.
Oh yeah, Haley went. I'm sure she did amazing. She's super fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the new Run Club thing. It feels very exciting and inclusive, and I really like it. I enjoy it. I really love cycling still. Cycling is just not as inclusive, not because the people aren't inclusive, but because it's a really hard sport to get into. And so not just anyone can pick up a bike and start riding with groups. There's just a lot of obstacles. Whereas running, there's a lot less barrier to entry. So I like that aspect.
Especially in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier to learn to ride in Miami than it is here. This is a hard place.
Yeah, the weather. I mean, same with New York. It's not an easy place to ride.
Yeah, but you're going to be back out on the road this week, you said?
I'm going to try, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, we'll see.
Possibly.
Okay, so we got lots to follow up with on next week's episode.
All right. Episode 17, over and out.
All right.